It's Tuesday, July 5th. This is The Gateway. I'm Wayne Pratt. A preliminary Forward Through Ferguson report details St. Louis County's fragmented 911 system. The organization's senior data director, Karishma Furtado, says inefficiencies further complicate a system with outdated technology.
We're still trying to make a system that was built in a time of landlines work when we're a population of cell phone and wireless users. And that has very real implications for how quickly and accurately we can get resources to folks when they are in need and in crisis.
The inefficiencies are also related to the county's 88 municipalities, 53 police departments, and 15 public safety access points. That report also finds nearly 80% of the county's 911 calls are for non-criminal incidents like medical reasons. Forward Through Ferguson Executive Director and Lead Strategy Catalyst David Dwight says one way to improve the service is to adopt civilian first responder systems. He says it works in major cities like Denver.
They meet community needs for that 80% that is for non-crime, non-violent crime things. And so they can actually have a faster, quicker response for residents and get them access to the services, supplies, transportation support that they need in that moment.
The full report will be released in the fall. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed 3 measures aimed at closing equity gaps and expanding access to higher education. One will require community colleges and universities to implement equity plans designed in part to reduce student loan repayment rates for minority students. Ginger Ostro is the executive director of the Illinois Board of Higher Education. She says increasing equity in education will also improve economic growth.
We really believe that it's important for Illinois' economy to thrive that we have educational equity. We just believe that educational equity and Illinois' economic growth are inseparable. And that's why this work is so important.
One of the other new laws allows the state treasurer to increase the deposit amount for children in financially insecure households. A coalition of state senators and advocates in Illinois wanted to know how much car insurers made during the first year of the pandemic. Now, the Illinois Department of Insurance has released that information. Mawa Iqbal reports.
Illinois' big 4 insurers, Allstate, Geico, Progressive, and State Farm, refunded less than half of what they charged for coverage. The Illinois Public Interest Research Group, a coalition member, says there should have been a full refund. But Jeffrey Brewer with the Chicago-based American Property Casualty Insurance Association says even though there was a dip in drivers initially, the number of accidents skyrocketed soon after.
You could easily see where rates could go up and down, all the time. To provide more stability, what insurers or regulators usually look at are longer term, trends.
Allstate pointed out that they were the first to refund and offer reduced rates in March 2020. I'm Mawa Iqbal.
Missouri drivers who have their vehicles registered in Franklin County no longer have to get an emissions test to renew their license plate. St. Louis Public Radio's Rachel Littman explains the change, which took effect July 1st.
The Federal Environmental Protection Agency requires emissions testing for certain vehicles in areas of the country that aren't meeting air quality standards. 4 years ago, regulators determined that the vast majority of Franklin County was in compliance, so the state submitted a request to end emissions testing. Mark Leith heads Missouri's Air Quality Planning Division. He says the natural turnover of people getting new cars helped the state show why testing was no longer needed.
They're all meeting newer and better emission standards, and so even without the testing program in place, we were able to demonstrate that emissions from motor vehicles are going to continue to decline.
Leith says it's possible testing will have to resume if the EPA tightens air quality standards in the future. I'm Rachel Littman, St. Louis Public Radio.
The Missouri Department of Natural Resources is in the process of renewing its Master General Permit for Contained Animal Feeding Operations, otherwise known as CAFOs. But environmentalists have concerns about a permit recently issued to one facility, Smithfield's South Meadows. That's a massive hog operation in the north-central part of the state. Received a general permit this month from DNR, replacing its site-specific permit. Environmentalists say that general permit is less restrictive and shows that DNR is not listening to concerns about the Master General Permit renewal. DNR's Heather Peters says the change will not lessen oversight at South Meadows and adds while the department is listening to concerns about CAFOs, Missouri state law limits what it can do. Some of the items we are following today in the St. Louis Public Radio newsroom. The operators of a silica mine near Hahn State Park in St. Genevieve County are suing in an effort to make sure the project goes forward. Local officials have passed a health ordinance that would make it illegal for the mine to be built, even though the Missouri Department of Natural Resources has approved a permit for next-gen silica. The Downtown Engagement and Public Safety Initiative will deliver its weekly update. It will include a review of all the fireworks statistics from the July 4th weekend. And on St. Louis on the Air, we'll explore the Black Reps production of Dontrell, Who Kissed the Sea. The play opens tomorrow and is doubly meaningful for one of its young St. Louis actors whose path to the stage took him through an FBI sting operation and years in prison. St. Louis on the Air begins at noon. The Gateway is a production of St. Louis Public Radio, a listener-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis. Music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. Have a great day.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.